Hey, it's Tom with Guys, Games, and Beer, and we have got another interview from Gamehole. I know you're shocked. Gamehole 2024 has just been a wealth of interviews, and we've got them rolling on. And I am here today with...
This is Brian with Guys, Games, and Beer, and we are here with...
Rick from MythWorks. Some might know me as Rick MythWorks. I am MythWorks' chief people person, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you both for having me.
Wait a minute. What is a chief people person?
Well, I am basically the first point of contact for relationships that MythWorks might have, whether it be the supporter experience or for retailers or just, artists, designers, other folks that we might want to kind of mesh into the network that we are kind of growing around ourselves. We are a small and scrappy startup company. We've only been doing tabletop games for the past 5 years. We started as a comics company prior to that with Skies of Fire and Glow, and then with The Wild Sea in 2020, we exploded onto the scene of tabletop role-playing games. And I was the head of playtesting for The Wild Sea, but now I am MythWorks' chief people person, maintaining and managing the relationships and wonders that we have everywhere it is that I go. I hope that answers your question. Is that clear?
Well, that was clear. You are the first chief people person I think we've ever interviewed on
Hype
the show.
man.
Thank you. I think I'm the first chief people person that I've ever met. I'm not the only person who fills this role, but I'm the only person I know who has this role. I know Rowan Rook and Deckard has Matt Saunders, who is their professional friendly person, but it's not quite a chief people person.
I love that. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
That really is a great... No, you know something? That's actually not a bad position. So
Not at all. I love it.
A lot... Well, and not... But especially in this business where you're out doing a lot of face-to-face. You're doing social media. You're
At conventions.
Right, you're at conventions. You're introducing people to how your game work is and how it plays.
Oh, yeah.
Having that interface.
Not always the easiest of positions to fill. Not always the easiest of deeds to be up to the task for.
Right. It's one thing to have everybody just sit down around a table and play a game, and demo it that way. But a chief people person,
Man, you got to talk to people? Oh, man.
I mean, it's a lot easier than you might expect, especially at a convention like this. I mean, I see people's eyes linger on our wonders on our games because, as I mentioned, we started as a comics company. So if I see the eyes stay there for more than a second, I know that curiosity lives in their mind, and people love it if you can satisfy their curiosity. If you can answer a question that they didn't know that they had, ooh, buddy, that's so good. And that's why I'm the chief people person, because I can find those people and answer the questions that are starting to lurk in the back of their minds.
well, let's go into what are you answering questions about with these people. So, comic company, now doing tabletop. What's your premier product in your tabletop line?
So our flagship game, the game that got us to grow to offer tabletops, is The Wild Sea. Recently, it's exploded out into popularity. Recently, Quinn's Quest did a review on it, but the Verdant Sea happened some centuries ago, a burst of growth and arbor which swallowed the world, ate the oceans, and drank the salt within. Wild sailors now sail chain-prow ships on an ocean of trees. And instead of, normal character options, we've got cactus people, fungal folk, spider hive minds crafting skin suits of whatever they find lying about, goopy slugoid post-humans with driftwood bones, fuzzy little moth folks. I know some of you have thought about being a fuzzy little moth folk. I have a sense for it. And shipwrecks come walking once more because the souls of their crew have decided they're not done yet living, loving, and serving one another in the bones of their old home and have come together to form a single animating ghost spark and consciousness. And not humans.
Okay, you can take a breath out.
Yeah.
Inhale. Wow.
But that is our flagship game. It's D6 based. You assemble a die pool and you roll highest number as your result. If you get a 6, it's a triumph. Peachy keen, everything's great. 4 or 5, it's a conflict. Little good, little bad. You get a 3, 2, or a 1. Well, things go wrong, and that's a disaster, my friend. But what makes it unique amongst die pool systems, if you roll doubles, you get a twist, something extra, something more that's in the hands of the players and the table, not just the GM. So everyone's got hands on the narrative reins, which we love.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, no. See, I love the idea of having a collective storytelling like that. Instead of just Brian sitting down and he's GMing the game and running everybody through it. Yes, there's the interaction and character development and things like that. But when we're all kind of developing the story as the game goes, more than just character development, but true storyline development, I think that goes a long way to always keep it playable, always keep it fresh, always keep things different. I can go through the same area twice, and if the characters are driving and creating part of the storyline, it's never going to even be close to the same.
Oh, yeah. And, as actually an example of how twists can affect and shape the gameplay. In an early beta game, I threw some marauders against my players, and one of my friends, he was trying to jump from one ship to another, and he failed. He didn't do that, but he got doubles, so something else extra still happened. And he said, "Hey, Rick, you know that spitlet that they ambushed us from, that bit of chunk and rock? There's a ritual chamber in the back of it." And I said, "Harris, you know what? You're right. There's always been a ritual chamber in the back of it. So if you actually flip through the Wild Sea core book, you will see the Blood Maw pirates, horrible, hungry pirate cannibal cultists, which only exist because my dear friend, some ding-dong, rolled doubles 5 years ago."
All right. So that's your flagship product now, but
Yes.
you've got new stuff coming out.
We do. So Felix Isaacs, who made The Wild Sea, also has a new Kickstarter coming out as produced by MythWorks for Pico. Pico are tiny bugs having tiny bug adventures. It uses the same wild word system that Wild Sea does, but it has a handful of small changes. Whereas The Wild Sea uses whispers, Pico has discoveries, small mysteries that bugs are trying to ponder, that after you've accrued enough clues, you can establish a truth that changes the world.
Okay. All right. So
Insect philosophy.
Yeah. So, like, as an example of a mystery, in a game I played recently, I had the mystery, how does the wind choose where to blow? And so, because we were playing with some pre-generated characters, we had a beginning clue that weather vanes exist. So, during the course of the game, I also was dragged through the air by a fish that I had lassoed upon its fin, because we needed to cross a river, because I had pissed off some bee farmers who were growing honey for their meadery, and we needed to escape. But as I was being dragged through the air by this fish that I had lassoed, wind was whipping all about me, and I realized, oh, wind can be made. Later on, I was dunked into the river, and as the current washed over me, I realized wind comes in many forms. So by the end of the session, during our denouement, our epilogue, I thought about my bug breathing and realized, oh, wait, we can choose where the wind blows. So if we were to do a longer game, from then on, because I had solved my mystery with a grand discovery, everyone can choose where the wind blows. Everyone who is anyone could control the wind just a little bit, just enough, just
Right.
a touch. Or another example is another grand discovery happened, the question being, what are cats really? And the answer is,
Oh.
cats are ghosts. So from then on in that world, cats are just ghosts.
Yeah, I think Brian would agree on that one.
Cat in the machine.
Truly.
Ghost in the machine, cat in the machine.
Pretty much the same thing,
Yes.
except the cat does a lot more damage.
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
yes.
So you got the Kickstarter coming up for this game. Quite the description of that
Oh,
game.
thank you.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about the game mechanics for both games. So they're both based on the same system.
Yes.
This is a system you guys developed.
It's very similar to like Forged in the Dark style system, where you're assembling a die pool and you're based on your character's abilities, options, and environmental things. But as mentioned earlier, the thing that makes it a little bit different are twists. Whenever you roll doubles, there's something extra, something more that is in the hands of the table. Because we really like narrative control being shared. As you had said, it's one thing to have the entire table sitting down together, playing the same game, telling the same story. One of the narrative tools and mechanics that we have enshrined in our games is the conversation. If you have an idea you think might be cool, say something to the table. We'll try and figure out a way if it's viable and we can make it work. Because everyone is there to tell a cool story together, and everyone has lots of cool ideas.
Okay.
Very
all right.
nice, yeah.
Now that, on the flip side, as somebody who's GM, do you ever find that slows the game down? And not all parties. I mean, if it's a party you're established with, it probably is fairly smooth. But when you have a new party, especially when you're out doing cons like this and demoing, where they just get in the weeds.
I think that for when you are first getting familiar with the concept of twists,
Yeah.
it can be a little bit disorienting, especially because, there's something extra has to happen. But we've got some kind of stopgaps in there too. Like, you don't have to have some new truth established. Maybe you just add an extra box on the track that you're trying to mark and achieve your goal. Or maybe you can reduce some of the damage coming your way by an extra pip. So you don't have to create new truths. Maybe you just want a quick little, a little critical. Or we'll just slough a little damage, sidestep some. And it's all good because it kind of makes sense in the narrative anyway.
So it doesn't have to be a life-changing event. It can be
No.
It can be a small quality of life adjustment.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be like my first twist I ever rolled where I threw myself off the ship because I wanted to know what this cool new skill wave walking did.
I mean, that sounds like a good opportunity to try that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, truly.
All right. So This one's coming up on the Kickstart. One more, give the date on that Kickstart. So, the Kickstart's not live yet, is it?
No, the Kickstarter is not live yet.
Okay.
It is set to go live at the end of this month, the end of October.
All right. So
All right.
that's something to kind of keep an eye on, Kickstart.
And where would we find if we were to search Kickstarter for this particular venture? What would we search for?
Pico, Pico. Additionally, right now, our playtest is available for free. Pay what you want on itch. You
Nice.
search Pico and Felix Isaacs on itch.io. You can get the playtest materials, 50 pages, fully colorized, beautiful and gorgeous. I wish I had some I could show you here, but my phone is currently our point of sale. You know how it goes at a convention.
I do.
But it is
really do
utterly
know that.
gorgeous. As mentioned previously, we started as a comics company, so all of our games have to be at least as beautiful as our comics. Otherwise, there's no point.
So do you have the same people who worked on the art working on your games?
No.
Oh.
The artists are separate from the designers. The designers are separate from the artists.
Oh, all right.
There's collaboration and communication back and forth. But as Felix will tell you, his artistic skill lies in words and not lines.
But I think he's saying, are you having the same comic artist?
Oh no,
Okay,
no. We
all right.
have different artists working across each project
All
actually.
right. Okay.
Which we love to be able to support a variety and multitude of people. We have on all of our projects we have different artists, whether it's Slug Blaster, Kickflip over a Quantum Centipede, or The Last Caravan.
Okay, so that's kind of a bold choice because I know a lot of companies, they like to have a certain look, a certain
Yeah.
feel to everything they do. That every game looks that I can really look and go, oh, I know who that is. I
Like
know who
a,
made that.
yeah,
one."
like a consistent design from game to game that you can kind of identify.
Right.
But
So that's kind of a bold choice where your games, I assume now, because you have completely different artists working on them, are dramatically different in artistic style.
Oh, incredibly.
Okay.
But they all have their own wonderful feel to it, such as the Wild Sea books. Both the core book and the Storm and Root expansion are actually landscape because they're as much art books as they are game books. They actually act as wonderful coffee table books versus Slug Blaster Kickflip over a Quantum Centipede, which the cover art is actually done by the artist Sex on a Pizza, and the special edition GM pizza box carrying case GM screen is done by Hamburger Hands. And it's described as Nickelodeon punk in style versus The Last Caravan, which is a Cars and Aliens RPG set in an America destroyed because humans and aliens both lost the Great War, which has like a traveler's book feel to it. We actually picked the size of that book based on the kind of book a traveler might take with them in an apocalypse. We are looking for a very different feel for all of our books because we're just looking to make something beautiful and wonderful.
So with you guys, it is actually about the art.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
goodness, yeah.
great. I think the other side of that would be it's tremendous that you're willing to give lots of opportunities to different artists to get in on something fun and cool like this. If a potential artist wanted to contact you to work with you, where would they reach you?
If you wanted to contact me, because it would be me you'd be talking to as MythWorks chief people person, I would love to hear from you. That would be contact@myth.works. Additionally, actually, if you're watching this and you've bought any of our physical products, I would love to give you a PDF because you've already bought the game once.
Right.
You don't need to buy it twice. So email me at support@myth.works with proof of purchase, and I'll get you PDFs as well.
What a deal.
Guys, that is
Excellent.
a good deal. Something to definitely look into. Okay, so we're going to go through one more time where people can reach you and where to find your games and when the Kickstarters again. So one more time.
So you can find our games at our website, myth.works. We also have distribution through, I believe it's Composed Dreams in Canada to save you some shipping there. Also, I think Deernicorn, IPR, a handful of other places. But you can also just find them on our website, myth.works. Additionally, we have social media, MythWorks HQ on Instagram and Twitter.
All right.
and
Lots of
we've
links
got
down below, people. Just look at the links
Discord.
down below if you're not listening to this.
Yeah, we have a Discord for MythWorks, a Discord for Wild Words, and another one for Slug Blaster as well. You can find me there. Our Wild Words one is actually very popular with lots of games being played regularly because we have a pickup game culture that we love and cherish.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap this up?
As I think as mentioned, Pico, you can find the playtest, the Hog Wild playtest on itch.io, Pico, Felix Isaacs, and follow us as we launch our Kickstarter for it at the end of this month. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for having me here and for this delicious Lady Luck Dark Red Ale, local brewery.
By our friends at Carbon 4. So, hey, guys, definitely check this out. We will be posting up all the links below. Keep an eye on this Kickstart. We'll maybe have them back on after the Kickstart and see how things are going and do a follow-up on this on the regular show. All right, so, Brian, take us out of this mess.
This is Brian with Games and Beer, and we've been here with
Rick Mythworks.
yes,
The chief people person for MythWorks. And I'm Tom with Guys, Games, and Beer. We've got a couple, well, not a couple. We actually have quite a few more interviews to go here at Gamehole 2024. Don't forget, if you haven't, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on Facebook. We're on all your podcasty places. Hey, it's like drinking with your friends and talking about gaming. Hang out with us for a while. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
cheers.
Thank you again for having me.
Thank you. A lot of fun. All right.